but once it's
the same.
yeah.
That's so cool.
These things knock them out. Like I mean, they knock them out. I'll come in here some days when I'm full. There's freaking 20 of them sitting over here, and they get them all. Oh, they've already taken all the other samples over.
Yeah.
That's where they'll stamp from that lab number that I wrote on there. Specialized little tools.
Yeah, it looks like.
Nah, we don't have any. When we go over into the lab, I'll show you.
I like the heavy hitters.
But I see a lot of these guys show up. They made their first weld job here. They got their heavy hitter.
Yeah. Whoa. That's pretty cool. Part of the process. A lot of people don't get to see it. What are all these?
So, are these tensors?
Yes, sir, they are. Yes.
So, once they get done welding one of those things up, they cut the raw samples out, and then Jose or Rodrigo, there's rules, there's instructions, there's the exact what you have to do, but he's doing all the raw machining.
Right.
And then once he gets done, then you end up with something like this, and they're gonna pull it. So there's one, and there's one. And there's a corresponding 1, 2, 3 here. They measure those changes in distance, and that'll tell you what kind of elongation, how long it was before it broke. And but you can tell right here, like it didn't even break in the weld metal. It broke in the base metal. Most of them do. Most of them don't break
on the weld.
In the weld metal. Now there are select cases where it will happen in the weld metal, but most of them neck down and break outside the weld metal. That's good. I have no idea.
Like this guy right here, when they show up with little speck like that, how would you call that?
Well, this one again, this one is not a welder qualification, but there are rules for acceptance on these openings. So,
because I know at school we'll bend them like that, and we'll have
the plates beveled on both sides. So you get a beveled in on the one side. All of our pipe is single beveled, so you can see there's the bevels on the pipe, but there's the other square coating. But so yes, you've got some cracks, but it's acceptable. Okay. And then you have some cracks, and they are not acceptable. We have. I don't have any like YouTube videos talking about turn that heat up and cram that wire. Yeah. Well, there are a number of things that you can get away with in the field, and they can go X-ray it, and the X-ray won't detect lack of fusion, the interbead lack of fusion. It has to be really, really, really bad before you can see it. Versus if they were to go out there and UT those welds, there's no telling what you might end up seeing. That's why destructive testing, when you hear people say, oh, it's just a bent. All right, buddy, keep that attitude up, and the heartbreaker will definitely let you know what's going on. So my opinion is that I think there's a lot of people that consider or they treat the hot pass like a fill pass. You put a bead in, I come look at it, then you turn around, and you don't, they end up shoving way too much wire on that hot pass. Q1's not quite hot yet. Right. There's not a lot of energy in it. And they just shove a bunch of wire on the hot pass, and they don't see it rolling over. They don't see it falling out in front of them. Because they're just steady shoving wire. They never pull that wire out to look at the front end of the bolt. I've always thought if you're going to do that, you're going to put some in and take it out, put some in and take it out, so you can see the front end of the puddle. You can see it fusing in. And I think there's a lot of people that end up treating that hot pass like a fill pass, and they don't see all the way down in the bevel, and so it just wants to roll over on top of it, and then we turn around and we bend them, you know, is you get a retarded opening like that, right? And but then that's right on the sidewall, right? That's right on the sidewall. It's not quite the high pass. That's definitely a fill pass, but man, that is right there on the sidewall. You can see the sidewall right there, right? There's a whole pile of. I think he said it. You get comfortable with throwing that wire in there, instead of letting it melt in. And there's one of the pros, one of the good things about RT is it's highly portable. One of the negative sides of things is it's limited on what it can see. And I'm certainly not trying to badmouth the process. That's not what I'm trying to do. But every one of them has their advantages and limitations. UT, yeah, that's it's pretty inclusive and can catch a lot of stuff. But the operator, a good UT can phase array guy, is expensive. The equipment's expensive. It's not as portable as what RT can be. So they try to narrow that down and say, okay, historically we know we can X-ray these things and we can get the job done and it will be acceptable. Historically with these welds right over here, we might want to choose different process for these. But the best part of the lab here, Cody's the guru over here. He's the one that can answer those questions. All I know is that is one. That's about as expensive as a lot of people's houses. Yeah. Hey Cody, how much is the key-inch microscope? It's certainly a heck of a lot more than most of our cars we're driving around. But this thing is it's got like mapping software on it. So once they start to look at some of these samples, if you start to go, like you're zoomed in so far, like you can kind of like, I don't remember where I was. Right? It'll do a map on it, and then you can make it go back. Like you're trying to compare something, you can start over here, and then, okay, I don't remember where I was, but I can get this mapping book, and it'll take you back. So you can do this back and forth and look. Well, we've got these hoods. We have a series of chemicals. There's a bunch of acids that we use to etch samples. I'll show you some etched samples here in a little bit. But if he's rinsing that out, then he's rinsing that out for a reason. He's probably in the process. But these are, you want to talk about polishing them down to a mirror finish. We turn around and we etch them, and it will reveal every single weld layer. Like on all those big heavy plates, when they get done etching them, you can see every single pass and the heat affected zone for every samples pass that's put in there. And then he does, oh, here you go. Here's some samples of some etches. So you can see this gray area is your heat affected zone. You can see each individual bead. And yeah, every single layer. Every single layer. Cody, do you have any hardnesses?